Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Well, wow, that was early. Welcome everyone to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself, your host Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the champion of Marco Polo, along with John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we're talking about the release of the Poolman University app, an educational app for the pool pros. I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the SPPA, Ultimate Pool Tools, Pool Invoice, Blu-ray, Aquastar, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. And I want to apologize for my puberty intro there. Well, maybe it wasn't puberty, John. Maybe it was an old man, right? Because it was deeper.
Yeah.
That was like, what, 40 years ago?
Dude, that was like 3 years ago.
40 years ago. Yes.
Zach, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I can't complain, but I feel bad for the guys out there today because I woke up at, I want to say about 3 a.m. and it was going absolutely crazy outside. Just crazy winds, rain sideways, just water running off the roofs everywhere. And today it's 49 degrees and just drizzling out there with a breeze, and they're all out there just grinding right now. And I'm sitting here drinking a hot coffee, hanging out with y'all. So I have no complaints this morning. I'm doing very well.
That's great, Mr. We didn't get any of that. We were supposed to get that last night. We took one of the cars because we wanted to make sure in case of the hail or whatever. We didn't even get a drop of rain. We got a little bit of wind, but we were supposedly in this tornado watch from 6 to 9 o'clock at night or 5 to 9. We got absolutely nothing. So
I don't know about y'all up there, but here they can't really predict the weather more than like 6 hours ahead. So
it's funny because we were doing the same thing like 2 or 3 days ahead. It was all over the news and all this stuff. And, the kids were panicking since last time, John, with the crazy from last time. And Jaden came home and he's like, Dad, I got to get homework done before the power goes out. I go, dude, what power outage? He goes, oh, we're in tornado watch. It's going to go out. I'm not going to be able to do my homework. And I go, dude, just like chill, like relax a little bit. It'll be fine. Right. So they were kind of going crazy, but we got absolutely nothing. It was the same thing, Zach. It kept getting pushed back, and then we got nothing. So, Mr. John, are you not drowning down there? You okay? Because I've been watching a lot of stuff online. I saw a lot of the lakes and the reservoirs up to like 81% with water. They show pictures of it being at like 29% and being almost like a little creek, and then everybody posting online with all the crazy rain you guys are getting.
What a joke. Look, we have gotten no rain. We've maybe gotten like a quarter inch of rain. We're in the desert and we do not get rain. So all this is happening around, live in a bubble, and this like little area tucked in between these mountains that refuse to allow any water. Desert. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've had more sprinkling days than we've had in the last few years, but no flooding, nothing crazy, at least in my area. Yeah, not much rain for us, but it's actually got hot. Yesterday was the first day where I was hot and I was actually sweating from the heat, and I was a little irritated. I think it's kind of like, Groundhog's Day, where they do that and they bring the groundhog out, and if he sees a shadow, it extends whatever the thing is about it. Well, with me, it's like the first day it gets hot, and I feel it, and I get uncomfortable. Then I know a long summer, and I think my whole demeanor kind of changes, and I turned into the grumpy pool guy for the next 3 months.
But
Well,
is it the same thing? When I was in the field every day, it was like every time we got that first hot day, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. Like I think this is
dude,
the year. I'm not gonna go through this.
No, Zach, you are 100% correct on that. How are we going to do this? How am I going to get through this? And not only that, but I'm also worried about, like, Fabian. I'm worried about Janie, and I'm just like, oh my God. And it's like, are they going to be able to get through it? I get through it. It happens. I've done it multiple summers, and so is Janie. But I know how much she hates the heat, and I know how tough it is on people out there. It's not easy, working in 120-degree heat, schlepping. Dealing with the stuff that we have to deal with, but it is what it is. Other than that, I'm feeling okay. I think I'm a little tired today. I don't know if anybody can tell.
Yeah,
you
sound a little off. You sound
I
like
am
you're
off.
ready to go back to sleep.
No, I'm not tired. I'm physically tired, but not mentally tired, if that makes any sense. And if I went to lay down right now, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep, but I sure feel like I can't do anything productive. And it's like everything is taking twice the effort or 3 times the effort, things. And it was kind of just like, when you were talking about fastest netter in the West, I go, I am not even close anymore, right? I'm like, it feels like I've aged. I just feel like I'm getting old, and I think I'm over the hill.
Hanging out with Edgar.
I don't know, and I'm looking at us 3 right here, and I'm thinking, damn, dude.
That's not from me. That's from you, Zach. You're the one asleep at 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm ready to roll.
I'm looking at us right now, and I'm thinking, I am the only one that looks like he has aged.
It's just because my camera sucks.
Dude, and I'm like, wow, Edgar, I mean, you don't look like you've aged a day. And Zach, if anything, I don't know, possibly look like you've got younger, and I literally the old sage or the old man now. And I want it to stop, I mean, we used to talk about flawless skincare and all that BS, but in reality, nobody talks about that anymore. And there's a reason why. I look like I've ran over. So I don't know what it is, but I need to figure something out real quick. So I'm on the side right here. I'm Googling like anti-aging supplements and shit, and what I to get the collagen back in my skin and just feel like I'm not 100 years old. But
Zach, brother, I love you, right? Like, that I love you like a brother. But I think I love you. I think your wife is so awesome. So she sends us a message over here when we start teasing you that you're going to bed at 9. John, Leslie goes,
8.
Zach's been staying up late playing Harry Potter every night.
Oh, yes.
And that's a video game, John.
Yes. Oh. That is cool. I thought you were role playing.
That's a top ab workout.
Yeah. Wow. I wish I knew more about Harry Potter, and I would make some jokes about it, but I really don't. So.
Harry Potter and the Magic Wand.
Wow.
Hey, he beat the game. He beat the game, and now he's sad. Did you really beat the game?
Yeah, it's the time change, dude. I can't sleep now. I'm up late.
Late to what? 9:30.
I've been pushing like 10.
Johnny's pushing 10. Let me tell you how John's world works. Okay. So I'll message John at maybe 12:30 my time, and he always responds, right? He's always on his phone and stuff like that. And then in the morning, I get up at about, probably like 6:30, and then our group chat, right, on WhatsApp, they'll start chatting. So the other day I sent a message to Benny, which, by the way, Benny, shout out to you. I know that you're online listening. And which by the way, Leslie's calling out the truth, and she's like, it's more like 11. So yeah, Leslie's listening, so keep it to the truth, bruh, because you ain't gonna be able to fool me and John. So
everything's
keep it
coming out.
Yep. So anyway, so I'm asking Benny if he's coming over to the Western show, and that was like 6:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden I get a message from John. Bloop, what's up? Blah, blah. I'm like, it's literally 4:35 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, got up and had to do something. So I just kind of got up and I'm going. I'm like, I'm done. And I'm like, I freaking messaged you at midnight last night. You're up at 4:30 in the morning. Like, when the hell do you sleep?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know.
That's a
As you
real
get
question.
as you get older, you need as much sleep, and I think that is a telltale sign that I am definitely becoming a senior citizen or getting old.
Is that real though? Because the older I get, the more sleep I need.
No, no, dude. I don't need to operate. If I get 4 hours worth of sleep, I'm okay. Preferably if I get 5 to 6, that would be ideal. Than that, I feel like I'm a piece of crap, and I'm sleeping, being unproductive, or I'm just weird that way. But maybe I need to change that. Maybe I'm finally starting to catch up to me, and my body's
That's
like,
it.
time out, dude. You know what I mean? Get a little bit more sleep here, because we're not young anymore.
Right. When you say we, can you please clarify who we is? Because I don't think I'm part of that we group.
Oh, I think I'm talking to myself. Like, my mind is talking to my body. We, like, as a team, but that's a little weird too, huh? But enough about me. I'm old and I'm tired, and now I'm going to start getting cranky because it's going to get hot.
And I don't know about you, but Zach, I'm with you. I'm like, the older I get, the more I could sleep. Like the other day, I slept till it was the time changed, but Sienna came in and walked into the room, and I'm like disoriented, and I turn around and I go, what time is it? And they're like 10:15, and I'm like, what? And I like flipped up in the bed, and I'm like, holy crap. And I just feel like, I'm the same thing. If I could go to bed late, I'll wake up late. I could go to bed early, I'll wake up early, but I'll still get that sleep.
That's how it works.
Hey, big huge shout out over here to Mr. Howard Pringle, which is saying hi to John. Leslie, big shout out to you. Thanks for jumping on and giving us some feedback there. And Benny says, hey, I'm up and working at 4 o'clock in the morning at your time. And I truly believe that. Because Benny is one of those that you could tell his mind and his body are like 24/7. He's
Well,
just
what
going,
time's the
right,
bedtime, Benny? That's what I want to know.
Dude, Benny's 20 years old. His bedtime is probably 3, and he's up at 4 ready to just rock and roll and go, Remember those days? Those days are long gone. So anyways, all right, guys, I think we should start to jump in. Look at that. 1 a.m. 1 a.m. is Benny's bedtime.
Wait, one more shout out. I have to shout out to my daughter, Tristan, because she's listening right now.
Is she really?
She is. She's grounded.
That is awesome.
Just putting that out there. Dude, spring break, grounded.
Like, why would you say that?
Just letting her know. I love you.
You know what, Tristan? I am going to talk to him, and I will reprimand him, and but John and I will take care of that for you, Tristan. Don't worry about it. That won't happen again. Trust me. Right, John? Am I right?
100%. 100%.
Right? So you know what, Tristan? Do me a favor. Type in the messages here what you want us to do. You want us to take a little beating to him. You want us to embarrass him in public. You control the power right now. You tell us what you want to happen, and John and I will make that happen. So
this should be interesting.
Don't be messing with Tristan, man. So anyway, shout out to Tristan for listening.
Tristan, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Don't put anything in the chat.
Tristan, go ahead and text me or John. You got our numbers. If not, she said embarrass him and is so stoked right now. So Tristan, before the podcast is over, we will embarrass Zach, right, John?
Oh, that's a given. I think it happens
Okay.
every podcast, but
Okay.
See what you guys
our
got.
viewers don't really know, but we'll do something to get them.
Yep. So Tristan, keep listening. We are going to get even, and I'm kind of trying to spin. So as they talk, I'll think about something, and we'll kind of take care of that for you. Don't mess with her, Zach. Got it?
We'll see. We'll see.
No, not we'll see. you know
See
how
what you
John
got.
gets.
Yeah,
Look at how
I know. I'm
serious
scared-
John
I'm more
got. Look
scared
at
of
him.
John.
Look at him. John got really serious and started giving him a stare like don't do that,
I'm
bro.
sorry, I'm-
You know, don't go there. So, hey, let's jump in here. Let's kind of start talking about the Western Pool and Spa Show because we are going to be out at the Western Pool and Spa Show, and we are going to be co-teaching 10 classes out there at the Western Pool and Spa Show. And it's part of what we're going to talk about today, which is the Poolman University app that we have been working on for the last year. We'll kind of talk about how that came about, how we kind of came up with the idea. But before we do that, let's talk really quick about the classes that we are going to be teaching at the Western Pool and Spa Show. And by the way, the classes that are at the Western Pool and Spa Show will also be the first 10 classes that are on the Poolman University app. So I want to start with the first one, and that is going to be a basic water chemistry class, and that is going to be with Alicia Stevens from BioLab. We are super excited to have her come out and teach the class and do the kickoff for us, guys, on the 10 classes.
Dude, she's amazing, right?
She's a great teacher. She's a great educator.
Teacher. Yeah, she's a great educator, and she's fun, and she's relatable, and she's just amazing to watch and listen to. She has a knack for, being able to connect and educating them. So
she's
really
very
excited about
interactive
that.
too.
Absolutely.
In her class, it was
And
fun. We took it, and
it just makes you feel comfortable too. You just feel
Yep.
like, okay, it's a safe environment, right? And that's what we talk about. And that's our whole purpose of what we're doing here is just making it to where everybody feels safe. And they're not embarrassed to ask questions, and nobody's going to put you down or make you feel stupid because you don't know something. And she's just amazing at it, and we're lucky to have her on for sure. We're lucky to have all our instructors are amazing. And it's going to be it's going to be pretty badass, plainly put. But our second course that we have is the importance of filtration and how it affects your bottom line. And that's by Mr. Todd Pieri from Aquastar. And again, same thing too. Talk about somebody who's really passionate about, the industry and the importance of, we all kind of, okay. And I'm sure some people are looking at this and saying, okay, well, importance of filtration, how does that affect your bottom line? And how is that really going to apply to me? And, you got a filter cartridge, you got a D cartridge, you got sand cartridges, right? I mean, there's really not, there really is. And understanding and the intricacies between them and how technologies have evolved, and then being able to turn that into a more enjoyable customer experience, a more enjoyable swimming pool, and more to your bottom line as a service professional. So it's a win-win situation for the customer and for you. So we're excited to have that class as well.
And I think another thing there, John, is obviously, hydraulics now obviously play even a bigger factor on that filter, but I'm excited to kind of talk also about, specifically how it affects the bottom line, because I think we don't put a lot of focus on it at least when I started in the pool industry. I'll talk by experience. I didn't put a lot of focus on it, right? Because I was so worried about everything else about my business that was something that I could kind of put off. And then through trial and error and experience, it kind of comes back and bites you in the ass, right? And then it ends up costing you so much more in the long run. So, I think that part, I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Yeah, and look, I want to clarify. It's not so much when we talk about, hey, bottom line. This is a important factor of like, oh, here's a filter, or this is what you can sell it for, and this is how much money you can make off of it because you make more profit. You know, the things we're discussing and we're trying to teach, it's much more complex than that, right? That's the easy stuff. Oh, I can sell it for this amount. Oh, I can. There's a higher profit margin on this unit. That's a one-time transaction, right? That's a one-time win. Most often than not, it's not necessarily in the best interest of a client and the business, right? It's either, okay, I'm going to sell the more profitable one, and necessarily somebody loses there. That's not what we're getting at. It's more of like long-term profit based off of in multiple forms. Like you touched on it, Edgar, when you talk about the hydraulics of it, right? Actually process the water. You can run it slower, right? It's going to save energy. Save It doesn't have to get replaced as often, right? It's going to be easier on the equipment. You're saving heat exchangers, stuff like that, right? You're not causing stress on the systems. But to go a little bit further, it's like, okay, you have a unit, for instance, because one of the filter, the pipeline filter, how much easier it is to clean, how much
Much
faster it is
faster.
to
Yeah.
clean, right? How much safer it is to have on your pad, right? How you don't need tools. You don't have to spend money on tools in order to really to fix them, or I mean to clean them and use them, and the wear and tear on that. There's just that you can that we explore and we dive into to show how it's a lot more than just that transaction, that initial transaction, and how that profit compounds over time by picking the right filtration application for your customer. So,
And then we also talk about we talk about it in our financial business class. We talk about the different micro businesses within your business and that profit and that revenue center, right? And so we'll talk about that in the class, how, from every aspect, and how it really has a big, huge impact on everything, whether it's chemistry, um, obviously the service side a lot, but financially also, right? Because it's one of the most profitable things that you could do. So,
Well, then it's like you said, like when you're looking at like selling a piece of equipment, it's a one-time transaction. But when we're talking about the overall filtration, circulation, things like that, and really dialing in, it's a culmination of things. It's a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit over here, but that added together over a longer period of time really equates to a lot of
for
cost
sure,
savings and
yeah.
straight to your bottom line. So,
I mean, that's what, like, I talked about this, I think, a few podcasts ago when I challenged everybody. And I said, look, when you look at clients or customers, don't think of them as what their monthly rate is or whatever you're receiving at that particular interaction, but find the lifetime value of a customer, right? And it's the same thing with products. So what's the lifetime value that you can expect from installing that unit? When you really dig deep and get detailed like that, that's when we talk about differentiating yourself from the competition and really fine tuning this well-oiled, creating this well-oiled machine. That's where you to 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 um to make the big bucks. When you start understanding that there are micro businesses within the business, and it's not just as cut and dry as what I bought it for and what I sold it for.
yeah. And the next class we have is gas-fired heaters, everything you need to know, and that's with Brad Duncan of Raypak. And this is when talking about heaters, this is something that throughout the years I've talked to a lot of different people in our area, and it seems like they're intimidated by the heater. And they'll refer that out a lot of times, but gas-fired heaters are actually, once you learn the intricacies and how to work on them, a lot of the problems are pretty common failures or learn how to diagnose it. Gas-fired heaters are really generally bigger repair tickets, and they're money makers. And So this would be a great class to help build that confidence and, get to understand these units more so that maybe you can build up the confidence to start offering some of these repairs, assuming you have the appropriate licensing and things to be able to do that. But this is a step in that direction.
Look, and before you jump on to the next one, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that. And since we're on the same subject, or on the subject of digging a little bit deeper in the purpose behind these things, Zach, you made a great point. The heaters, intimidating pieces of equipment on that path for any technician, especially if you're new in the industry. And the reality is it's the one thing that is used probably the most often, or is the most important when people need it, right? That's the whole purpose of the pool, when having a party or in the hot tub or what is the one thing that tends to break down or have issues or user error. And is, people don't necessarily call you for, my, automation troubles, or, well, sometimes they do, but, simple things. It's more of like, oh, my heater's not turning on, or it's not getting past this level, right? Or it won't fire up, or staying on all the time, or it's not to temp, or whatever it may be. And whoever's new in the industry, if they're intimidated about that piece of equipment, and they don't have the knowledge or know-how how to fix it or address those issues, it automatically, it subconsciously, whatever, makes them feel inadequate as a service provider, and puts them in a position where they're going to need to rely on somebody else to do the work for them. And in the eyes of a client, sometimes they look and they go, oh, well, my pool guy, or everything, all they know how to do is clean the pool. If that, the fear of, I need to find somebody that can do everything for me, right? So the reason why we picked heaters as the class that we wanted to teach is so that we can help get over that fear, for the the technicians that are there, and saying, hey, look, they're not as you think. And to be honest, they're pretty much the same, right? If you know how to work on one heater, you can fix any heater in reality. The only difference is that you need to find out where the part is on the new heater. I mean, they all pretty much work the same, and there's really not that much that goes into them. So if, one issue with one heater is usually the same issue with the other heater, and you just have to be able to find the part and know how to troubleshoot it accordingly. So this in class to help kind of build that confidence up, those people that are servicing and are too afraid to get into repairs, or where hopefully this gives them the confidence to where they can start adding this into their arsenal, so that they can be more of a complete pool service company for their clients, so that they don't have to worry about. We get called all the time saying, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody that knows that can service and repair and install, service, repair, and install, service. And absolutely terrible when that happens, because I don't think for 1 second that person that's servicing the pool doesn't want to be able to do that for them, and it's just a lack of education and know-how. And hopefully, we can empower people confident, and they can start providing these types of to their clientele.
And it's one of those where it's, a lot of those things is, it's all repetitive. A lot of what we do, right? You're going to encounter the same problems over and over and over. It's not like you're fixing a heater and there's 60 different things, combinations that can go wrong, right? It's like John says, it's like once you get comfortable, it's very repetitive. But the beauty of it is Brad Duncan does an absolutely amazing job, and he leaves no stone unturned when he's talking about heaters. He will do a deep dive into heaters, and the beauty of it is he'll talk about other other systems as well. It's not just here, right? His focus is the education on the heaters, but he talks about everything. He talks about, even nowadays with variable speed pumps and making sure, right? Because sometimes you kind of get there, you go, you throw the heater, you walk out. Back in the day, you had pumps that were one speed, so you didn't have to worry about anything. You went in, you threw the heater, you prepared it, you were out, you were good. but you can kind of go in and throw a heater in, nowadays. And if you have your RPMs too low, it's not going to fire up that heater, right? So even little things like that, he kind of covers in the class. And we cracked up, and I actually saved the clip because we were with Roy, and Roy is our videographer, and he's videotaping. And, Brad had his own company for 24 years. So he knows how to do repairs, installs, does all of that. So he speaks to it as a pool pro on the ground. When he was done with the class, Roy started chanting and went up and gave him a hug and said, in all these years, I've never seen anybody have such command of the content, so much awareness of being able to present in front of a camera, and was like super excited that he did that he gave him a hug. And we were kind of sitting there, Akshay and myself were sitting there laughing because they're over there hugging, and he's just super excited. So I'm excited for this class because he's such a great instructor.
Our next class is going to be strategic branding with Zach, Edgar, and myself. And
Zach.
I guess it'll be all right.
It's Zach. It'll be Zach.
It'll be Zach. It'll be presented by Zach with Edgar and myself chilling in the background.
I think we have a meeting at that time, John, that we need to step out and let him teach that class. So just to give you a heads up.
I'll be like sweating and just pit stains and a nervous wreck and
whatever. Dude, I'll give time.
You know what I'll do, John, is I'll give him I won't show him the PowerPoint presentation. I'll just kind of give him that, which, by the way, I need to send you the updated ones, Zach, because
I you're already those. Doing.
Yeah, so that you know. So, anyways, the next one is going to be level up your service with enzymes and water clarifiers. Can't speak today, tongue twister. And that's going to be with Jamie Novak, and super excited to kind of talk a little bit and do a deep dive into the enzymes and water clarifiers. I asked John to please in this class really kind of talk about, how they use it as a service. And I think a lot of pool pros out there think that these are things that need to be given for free to the customer and stuff like that. So John's definitely going to talk about, how to implement that into your service, right? And the profit side and how to charge and all that kind of fun stuff. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. So most people, they'll look at that class and go, oh, okay, they're talking about selling the product. But no, we're talking about, this is a revenue stream that you can have for your business that not only produces cash flow for you, but more importantly, produce swimming experience for your clients, right? And then that pays in dividends over time as well. So, and then how do you take a product, right? And how do you use it effectively? And how do you sell the benefits of it to your clients so that, one, it is something that is above and beyond normal pool service, or that you would include as far as chems, and why you should charge for it, and what you should charge. Well, not necessarily exactly what you should charge for it, but that you should charge for it, and how do you apply it on a weekly basis, so that you can get the biggest bang for your buck, and so can your client. And those are some of the things that we're going to kind of get into detail, and how we do it personally, and how we've been doing it now since the very beginning.
I think that's one of the mistakes I made for a long time, is I always looked at things with the perspective of like, okay, I'm going to add this product and it's going to have these benefits, which is then going to benefit us as a service company. Therefore, I shouldn't charge for it because it's benefiting me. But
well, I mean, I hear you on that, and a lot of people make that, right? It's just everybody feels that way at first, almost, and it's like, okay, it's just like, well, no, that's not how it works. It's like being really good at your job and proficient is going to make it easier for you too, right? But so that means you shouldn't charge because because you're so good at what you do. No, that's how it works. But Zach, almost everybody is in that boat, and hopefully we can help break down that wall and get people a little bit more comfortable. And I think it all comes down to educating again, right? Yeah. And if they truly understand the benefits of using some of these other chemicals in the pools, and how it benefits them and their clients, then they'll feel a lot more confident in the ability to have it as an add-on.
Absolutely. And the next class is Understanding Business Metrics, Financials, and Your Cost of Service with Edgar, John, and myself. And again, this is one of the topics that we're extremely passionate about, is the financial side of the business and just business operations and how that all ties together. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're out there doing this for, is to grow a profitable business so that we can take care of our families, we can be financially secure. So this class is super important. Even if you know finances, I have taken financial classes throughout my whole career over and over, a little bit different here, a little bit different there, but this is stuff that every time you go through it, something else clicks, because a lot of times some of the things you learn are just a little bit higher than you can understand at a certain point. So it seems like every time I take a class that's around financials or anything like that, I walk away learning something that I can immediately implement in my business that affects our profitability and helps us become a more financially healthy company. So I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think you made another great point, Zach. And not only that, taking these courses over and over again, it really all depends on what part of the journey you're in. Like you said, some things might be way above there, and not necessarily because it's something you shouldn't be focusing on. It's just simply you haven't crossed that bridge yet, right? Or you haven't hit that obstacle yet, and you're not that in that portion of your journey. And the next time you take it, you've already accomplished things. To experience some of these things that we've talked about before that maybe didn't apply to you and now do apply to you, and you get that aha moment, right? That epiphany. It makes sense. I get it now. So these are the nuts and bolts. These are the helps build the foundation to any successful business. Is understanding business and financials, right? If you don't get a grip on that and understand it, then chances of being very successful or lasting as an entrepreneur or small business is slim to none.
The next class is going to be Introduction to Hydraulics with our friend Steve Barnes, and this is another great class. He's going to kind of break it down. We're going to do a 101. We'll talk about the 201 here in a little bit, but really kind of an introduction to hydraulics for pool pros to understand how that pad functions and how to be able to trace and make sure that your pool is optimized.
Yeah, and look, who better to have? He is he knows hydraulics, right? And watch to him do the course while we were videoing it, right? And going through the content was fascinating, right? And I enjoyed, because I was learning things as he was talking, and I was also that I forgot, right? Or I didn't really pay. Oh, okay, I get that, or whatever. And he has a good way of breaking it down and explaining it with some good visuals, right? So that people can kind of get it. And then it's not as boring as some stuff like that is, and why do I need to learn it or understand it? The good thing, like part of the class and what we're going to be doing is, how do you apply that to your company, and understanding why hydraulics is important and how it can benefit you dramatically if done incorrectly or if done. I'm looking forward to geeking out on those classes.
Hydraulics is one of those topics too, like we were just talking about. It's like you could take it over and over and over, and every time you take it, something more is going to click, because you learn this much, you go out in the field, you're around it, now you know this, and the next time you take the class, you kind of unlock that next level in your brain to where you can take it in and go out and apply that. And in the benefits of being able to properly understand it, what it's going to do for the equipment longevity, what it's going to do for your overall performance of your pool, and the just all the benefits of it. So this will be a class that I will continue to learn more and more the more that I'm around it and go through it.
Look, you're right. is what we're talking about when it comes down to these courses, and people are looking, okay, you know, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've said this before, and I've heard other people say it, and it's like that you put me on anybody's route, and I walk those pads, I can find something that needs to be fixed or needs to be done, right? Um, and some of those things, or usually the majority of those things, are some small things or little low-hanging fruit, like we talk about, that just we need to catch up and do. But there are a lot of things that people that are there that a lot of technicians or companies might look at the pad and think everything's running in tip-top shape, or clients do, but in reality, you can do certain tweaks, or there's some things that are wrong with it that you just don't know what you don't know. And when you take courses like this and you get understanding of how water works and how it travels and the effect that it has, and you get a good understanding of it, now you can take that knowledge, you can go back to your pads or to your clients, to your customers, and you'll be able to now find some deficiencies that you'll be able to remedy, because you have the knowledge and education now and understanding, and more importantly, be able to convey that to the client. They understand why it's worth making that investment. And then it turns into more profit and more business for you, then makes you more equipped and better at what you do. And then in turn, a client thinks that you're that great of a company, right? Because your knowledge, because you have such knowledge, then it turns into other people recommending you. And when now you go out to quotes, and next time you take on a new pool, you're able to look at the plumbing, you're able to understand it, and then factor that into the equation when you're pricing out your monthly pools, or things that need to be done on the checklist before you take over service, repairs that need to be done. So yeah, it gets pretty. We can dig deep into it, and that's accomplish in these courses, and that's what we want everybody to take away when they take those. The next course is going to be intermediate with our good friend Mr. Terry Arco from HASA. Again, chemistry is like the backbone of pool service, right? We're not janitors. That's a small portion of it, right? You can hire anybody to get a net and rake a leaf and vacuum a pool, right? That is the simple stuff. I can get my 16-year-old kid to come do that, and I can get my 13-year-old kid to do that. That's not hard. Understanding water and management of water, and how it affects the vessel, and how it affects the equipment, and the overall satisfaction, the bathing experience for your customer is very important, right? And that's what makes you a great pool service provider or a pool technician, is not only being able to serve efficiently, fast, and correctly, but being able to balance water. And Terry's going to jump into intermediate water chemistry to help Alicia's basic water chemistry course.
The next course we have is Protecting You, Your Family, and Your Business with Danielle Barr with the SPPA and Laurel Rambo. And again, it's one of those things that you may not think is important, or you may not put a lot of importance on it. It's just something that's there that you need to have. But this is something that everyone should really understand how to maximize on it and do it properly. Because the reality is if you think about how many backyards you're in, if you think about how much you're on the road driving around, you have a lot of risk exposure. And so we just want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves properly and getting the best protection in the event that an accident happens. And they're accidents, you can't always avoid them. You can't predict them. So this is going to be an important class that I think a lot of people should look at taking.
Yeah, the next thing is going to be intermediate hydraulics with Steve Barn, and this is a continuation of that hydraulics class that we're talking about, right? So, and this one, he's going to kind of take it up a notch. Obviously, start talking about pools with multiple pumps, multiple water features, and all of that. So, hey, John, I was sending you a message here because I'm getting from Brian Cresson that he's watching on Facebook, and it seems like you're kind of cutting in and out about every 10 to 15 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here. We're going to take a word from our sponsors. When we do that, John, can I get you to either refresh your feed or just kind of close and then just jump back into the feed while we're on break, and then hopefully that will fix that. I guess it's on Facebook only, but hopefully we can get that. And then thanks to him for telling us and letting us.
Shout out to Brian that cares enough, that wants to listen to me, actually, right? And he's concerned. It'd be more like I'm cutting out, and he's like, yeah, can we get him to cut out more or get him off completely, because I don't want to listen to him anymore. But he actually wants to hear me. So Brian, shout out to you, my brother.
So,
I appreciate
John, you were worried that you're the one that's asleep and tired, and
here I go. I won't shut up. We're 50 minutes into our podcast, right? And we've been talking about the courses, and we haven't gotten into what the podcast is about yet. And who knows? I'll shut.
I think Zach, it's just all the 5-hour energies that has him going today. And he's saying that he's tired, but if you look at him now, look at his face. He does not look tired anymore.
It's because he's passionate about this.
He's fired up, right?
Thank you, Zach.
All right. Hey, guys, so let's go ahead and take a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will jump into the Poolman University app. We'll talk then.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypack.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation live podcast. Janie, big, huge thank you for that. So, hey, did Janie come back just a little bit ago, John?
Why, did you hear her?
Oh yeah.
We heard this like big, huge truck, and I wanted to say something, but you were talking, and I didn't want to interrupt. But we heard the big roar show up to the house. So now I don't think that you have a beeping alarm anymore. Now I think you're going to have a truck problem in the background every time that you do something, and she's like, "Vroom, vroom,"
Yeah.
And I can't say, John, that it's even a her like it's just the natural, just you turn it on and that's just the sound.
Yeah,
It's
you
not like
can't.
she's hitting the gas.
Mm-mm.
So anyways, Janie, beautiful truck. It looks amazing. The tinted windows, the little new sticker that you got on it,
Yeah,
or
dude,
the
it's like
decal that
she's
just
like so
look.
much attention. Look, I'm not
She's
a
posted.
jealous
She's
guy,
posted like 16 pictures of it,
dude,
but it's like
but it's like
keep them
she
coming.
literally loves that truck more than me. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, anyways, Brian Croissant is saying, I wanted to mute you more, John.
Perfect. And see now that's the Brian I know. Perfect.
Oh, that's awesome. So, anyways, guys, look at this. It's been almost an hour, and we still have not talked about what we were going to come and talk about. And I think that's the story of our life with the podcast, right? We always kind of come in, we're going to talk about one thing, and our journey takes us somewhere completely different. So let's kind of jump into this and let's talk about what we wanted to talk about today. And that is, for the last about year, we've been working on an app for the pool pros, and it is finally out. It's called the Poolman University app. And really the first phase of it is going to be really kind of an educational platform for the pool pros out there to be able to kind of go and get some of the trainings. And what we did is we partnered with the Western in order to be able to release it at the Western, and then really the 10 classes that we're going to teach there, be able to have those 10 classes on the app. But then we partnered with some amazing people to be able to do those trainings, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about that. But John, I'm going to start with you. I want to start talking about the app, and we'll go into each segment and component of the app. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what excites you about being able to kind of get this app accomplished and get this out there?
I mean, and there's if I were to pinpoint it on one thing is just, and this might sound silly, but it it's just the fact that it's finally here, right? And this dream that we had and where it started from, and it was, I mean, we've all, this is it that I just thought of right now. It's kind of like, and I think we've before, but remember when we talk about or the Powerball is like X billions of dollars or whatever, and we've all had this conversation, or at least maybe I'm the only one, but like, what would you do if you won, right? What would you do if you won? Oh, I'd buy this, or I'd get this, or I'd give you that, I'd do this and that. And we talk about these like dreams, and we, even though in our minds we the dopamine, and we get excited and we feel like, oh my god, yeah, but the reality is it's probably never going to happen. But it feels good to talk about it. And I think many people in our industry and other industries as well have had dreams before of something or doing something or something happening that would benefit everybody. And we had this big, hairy, audacious goal, right? That we talked about before, when we on our goal podcast. And it was definitely that, right? And I can't tell you how many times I had people or we heard people or kind of like slightly say, a good point, pat you on the head. Oh, what a wonderful idea, guys, right? Oh, what a wonderful, good dream. It's, yeah, good luck trying to make that happen in the pool industry. It's where we can actually create an environment where we can bring everybody together, from all walks of life, and from multiple manufacturers, from whether you're in multiple stages of their journey, and kind of bring them together, to one where they can only do further and further educate themselves and better themselves, right? In turn, become a more successful industry, or more successful at our business, a better industry. And actually, it's like, pinch me. I don't believe it's really there. I see it, but I don't, and I haven't really experienced yet what other people are experiencing using it, and what it's really going to become. But just to kind of see it all unfold, and it actually get released and happen, and then I'm just floored by the support that we're getting now, and the people that have backed us throughout this journey, all our sponsors, and the show, the Western show, right? The people that have just believed in kind of what we're doing now, and saying, hey, look, these guys are for real. They're going to make it happen. And yeah, I mean, that's just our type of personality. And I think what we say, Edgar, we're talking about, look, dude, this is either, I mean, we're going to either make it happen, or we're going to burn this ship down, right? I mean, it's like, look, I really depended on this. This is not my, this isn't, I'm not making money, right? This is, we're doing this for because we have a dream, and this is what we're doing. And if it doesn't work out, we gave it the best shot we can, but we're not going to commit to this unless we're 100% committed to it, and we're going to do it. And there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears out, especially on your end, my friend, with all the development stuff, and putting together the team of people that we have that are working on this full time come true, and just the beautifulness of it, and how it works, and then all the content that we have that's going on there. I'm just so excited that actually our dream has come true, and to release it officially show, and then to team up with, like I said, our Pool Nation instructors, and have their courses up there, and then having a place where even if one company or one technician out there we can help out, worth it for us. And I know that this is just the beginning, all this work that went into it, and that's the foundation we talk about, right? Building a very solid foundation, and I think we've done that with this app. And we've made it very nimble and very flexible, so that we can expand, and we can meet certain needs and customize it for everybody. So it's not a one size fit all type of that many apps are, or a lot of, or certain things that programs that people come up with are very tunnel vision, or very specific, or topic specific, right? Where ours is more of just a university, a college, a campus, where everybody hopefully will be able to jump on and use this, and utilize it, and tailor it to their specific, that they can focus on educating themselves and their employees, so that they can become more profitable and better at what they do, and in turn make us a better industry, so that all of us can seize on that opportunity as well. I'm just excited for it, and it's kind of cool to think that we have an app out, dude. And who, right? I can brush a wall really well, right? And I can fine tune a pool really good, and I love plumbing and working. I can do all that good stuff, but I never thought in a million years that I'd be a part of something like this, right? And I'm so humbled to be a part of it, and I'm excited to see what it has in store for everybody, and how much further it's going. Just the beginning, folks. Most people, or most, when something, and they go, here it is, right, and that's it. No. This is a thing, and this is going to be an ongoing focus for us.
and we're going to be putting more and more content on a weekly basis on this, and it is going to be the premier app, or it is going to be the end all be all for hopefully everybody, where they can go there and get information from us. That's not our goal. We don't know everything. We don't pretend to know everything, but we have the ability to bring in some amazing educators from across the industry, and put them all in. Everybody has a clear focus or a clear picture on what they need to do so they can better themselves. That's pretty much it. If I were to put it in a nutshell, not really one thing, but just it's actually here, and that it's done.
Absolutely. I do want to say something, and so just Janie, I know that you're listening, and so I do learn, right, when people tell me. So first, I'm going to backtrack here, and John, thanks for obviously thanking me for putting the effort into the app and all that kind of stuff. But this is a group effort. This is not me. This is we've all three sacrificed so much just to get here, right? I mean, look at the time that we sacrificed. Look at how much time you fly out to Texas to be here to do the content. I mean, all those trips you're paying out of pocket to be able to do that. All the Instagram lives. Every time I call you and I got to struggle, and I'm like, hey, I need something. I need this. I need that. You jump in. You kind of deal with it. And Zach as well. I mean, you guys are running companies out there. You're trying to keep your thing going, and at the same time, I'm picking up the phone, calling Zach, hey, what do you think about this? And how can we make this better, and how we could do that? So, this is totally a group effort, and we all take credit for it together, right? It's all, if you could divide 50, right? Well, 33.33333%, right? I was going to say 50%, and John was going to make fun of me, but this is a group effort. So, but I do thank you for acknowledging that. I'm super excited about it. I'll give you my thoughts here in a second here. I want to get Zach's thoughts on what's exciting him to be able to get to where we are today.
Yeah, and I think big shout out to all the wives, right? Because I know all of us have been putting a lot of time, and Edgar's so humble about it. Like, he's like grinding nonstop, and I don't even know how you have so much drive and so much energy. If I could just have a little bit of that, I'd be moving miles ahead faster. But I do think for me, like John said, seeing it come to life, because it's easy to have ideas, but to see this actually out and here and now, and a lot of that work, now the fun stuff that really kicks in, right? Building the content, adding more things like that. So that's really exciting. And one thing that I'm excited about, and kind of going to be a little bit selfish here, but is having a tool that I can use to help educate my team. Because one of the biggest struggles I've had over the years is, there's a lot of great education out there, but you have to seek it out. You have to know where to go. You have to set up over here an account. You have to set up over there. And I have a team of people that are constantly wanting to learn. They're wanting to get more education. They're wanting to get better at their job. And my time, is really committed to my responsibilities. And sometimes I don't always find the time to be able to constantly feed them these different education. Like John said, like, we don't know everything. I don't know everything. Like, I can't teach them everything. I need, an expert to be able to teach them those things. So to have a hub where I can point them in this direction and say, here's a tool, and here's what you need to watch, and here's what you need to learn, and be able to have that access and give that to them and let them flourish and progress and get educated. That is really exciting to me. I mean, and I think this is going to be an important tool for a lot of business owners out there, because as business owners, like, we have a lot of responsibilities that don't always allow for the time to be able to search this out and find these things, and constantly spoon feed that training and education. And I think it's gonna I think my team's gonna be happy, that now they have this to use. So that's what's really exciting for me.
I do want to take a second to acknowledge, and Steve Barnes is listening. So, Steve, I want to give you a big, huge shout out. We're super huge fans of you, but we want to thank the people that partnered with us, right? Because we can have this great idea, we could have this great tool, but if you don't have people that are willing to partner, and the biggest thing, Zach and John, is they're just as passionate about it as we are, right? Like they're coming into this, and we talked about it on the Instagram live, John, but these people are paying for their tickets. These people are paying for their travel. These people are spending, like, we're asking them to be part of this. And then on top of everything, we're going, oh, but by the way, hey, we don't have enough money to be able to
Maybe
pay
we
for
can
your
buy
travel.
dinner.
Well, you're right. We'll buy you dinner. We'll take you to Andy's. We'll take you to Summer Moon. But what excites me about it is that, yes, we've had the opportunity and the tools and the sponsors just stepped in, and we've kind of spent the money, building a team and trying to get this vision done. But if it wasn't for them, we really kind of wouldn't be where we are, right?
No, we
Because
wouldn't.
we're like, I'm not. I know very little about hydraulics and being able to teach a class, and watching Steve show us the video, John, of what cavitation looks like inside a pipe just absolutely blew my mind. Like, I never even thought, hey, that's a video that I would like to see, right? But that's how passionate he is about that content, and that's the type of content that we want on this app in order to just elevate the entire industry, right? To become that nation of pool pros. So I'm super excited. So Steve, I know that you're listening. A huge hats off to you, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do it. Plus, it was kind of badass to hang out with Steve for quite a couple days.
Oh, for sure. Look, and it speaks volume to our industry, right? And what we're about. And we all do have a common goal, and we all want to thrive. We want this industry to thrive, and for them to their days, right, to do this out of because they have a love and a passion for it. And but also the companies that they represent, right? Think of get a corporation or a manufacturer or something, say, hey, look, what's in it for me is usually the
The
mentality
question,
in any
yeah,
corporate world that benefit us. We're putting money out for you to go out and do this with us. How does that benefit us as a corporation, and how to the board or whoever they need to talk to, or to my boss? But in reality, it's they understand the need to educate and the importance of educating the people that buy their products. And a more educated group of business owners in the industry, right, and service technicians and employees, right, is in turn going to be beneficial for everybody as a whole. And I think we all have one common goal, and we figured it's like, sometimes when it's like sometimes you might find an ally in somebody that you probably didn't think was an ally, because you have a common goal in something, right? Like when you go to wars, we might not be whatever, but we both don't agree on this, and we're both willing to fight for this. And I think education is that common denominator that everybody under any company in their right mind, or worth uh, worth anything, gets it and says, hey, look, education is something that lack clarity in, and whatever we can do to come together so that we can help better educate everybody, just says amazing things about who we are as an industry. And you're right, without the instructors, we couldn't do it. Because look, I mean, yeah, can I sit there and learn everything, Alex, and be able to do that? I probably can. Do I have the time? Is it even possible for me to really gain the decades worth of knowledge that that someone like Steve Barn has, and find a way to, talk to him and utilize him, and his knowledge, so that he can teach properly? That is the way you're supposed to do it. We talk about, look, I've said this 100 times about strength-based organizations, and this is living and breathing what we're talking about and saying. When I say, hey, as a business owner, or if you're going to be successful in anything you do, you have to acknowledge where your weaknesses are, but focus on your strengths and the things you do well at. especially when it comes to your employees. If you force your employees or people, if you have a company, to get better or to do the things they don't like to do or they're not naturally good at, they're going to get run down and they're going to eventually start want to work and do that. But if you find out what makes them tick and what they're great at, okay, and then put them in a position where they can harness and utilize those talents and do well in, then not only are they going to be amazing at what they do because that's what they love to do, but their morale is going to go through and you're going to create a better environment. So hire people or bring people on or befriend people are better than you, right? And at your deficiencies. So when we're talking about our app and educating and doing stuff like that, look, why on earth would I sit and learn, spend a year learning about hydraulics when we already have the best in the business? They're doing it. So let's team up and partner with these great people and have them teach their lifelong teachings to everybody. If I were to learn about it, who would I learn from? I would be learning from Steve, right? That's where I'd go learn that information from. So why not just get Steve and see if he's willing to do it? And he was more than willing to do it and excited to do it, and then bring him to the platform so that everybody can benefit from his teachings. And that's just kind of what we've done. And it's like a melting pot of some amazing educators. And this is right. We are going to be
Absolutely.
expanding from here. And we are going to bring anybody and anyone willing to share their knowledge, right, with the industry, in one platform, so that we can educate people. And again, like you said, it'd be impossible to do it. And plus, who in the hell would want to sit and listen to me all the time or Edgar all the time? I mean, that'd get boring after a while. I'd get bored, right? And like, who is this dude, right? Or this way, it's a
Yeah,
win-win situation, and we're very thankful.
and there's so many talented educators out there in our industry that do so well that's that's the best way to go about it. And I want to go back because you were talking about it and you were talking about the vision, and I kind of want to share a little bit of how this came to be. You know, and that was, obviously we started with the Instagram lives and we kind of met each other and we kind of hit it off. And then the day of the podcast came, and I remember, Zach, I was actually outside this room right here, standing in front of the dry bar when I called you and I was talking to you about, doing the podcast. And are you in or not? And, and I said, you're both either in or we're all out. Like, we're not doing this. And so did I think at that point that we would be where we're at today? No, absolutely not. Right. I mean, that kind of exploded, and we've been so blessed by so many people that believe in what we have and the dream and the vision. And we were doing podcasts back then when we started doing podcasts. I remember looking, kind of going, man, we only have 3 podcasts. I can't wait. I want to do more content. I want to do more content. I want to focus on that content. And I think probably like 30 podcasts in, we kind of start to have the conversation of, okay, we're doing this, but what's next? What's the strategy? What's the big picture, right? And we did what we preach, right? Which is, let's take a look at what it is that we're doing, and what's the strategy. Let's sit down and figure out what we want to do with this here, right? And so we all kind of sat down and we kind of having a conversation and really kind of trying to figure out, oh my God, what do we do next? What can we do to help the Pool Pro and help grow what it is that we're doing, right? Because we're so much about the education and doing the trainings and the podcast and the educational side, but how can we do something better? And at that point, we kind of sat down and we kind of started working more on the back end, the website of it, of creating this, this big platform and where people could sit at the computer and they could do the courses and they can do all those things. And so we sit down, we strategize, okay, this is how we're going to move forward. We're going to, go in this direction, and we start working on it. And I'll never forget, maybe like 2 months into it. So 2, 3 months into it, Zach kind of comes back to us and he's like, hey, you know what I would really like? I would really like for an admin to be able to, create an account and add all their employees, but not have to use email addresses, because in my case, I wouldn't want to create email addresses for everybody. And I remember us talking about it, and I remember talking about it to John and just kind of going, crap, we kind of have to blow up the whole thing that we've done because we've already done the registration and we've already got, everything built around what it is that we want to do. And so we just kind of went, screw it, let's blow it up. Let's just kind of go back to the drawing board because we think that this could be better. So, along the way of creating the strategy, creating the vision, right? Which Zach talks about all the time. You have to have the vision. You have to kind of know where it is that you're going. And us creating that, I think the other thing that came out of the whole thing that we have done is we're always going, how can we do it better? Right. It's not just let's put this product out there, let's get it done. But a lot of the conversations are around how can we do it better? What other things can we integrate? Right. And then a lot of times I'll call John individually or I'll call Zach individually and I'll kind of pick their brains and we'll sit there and then all of a sudden we come up with what we think, right? What we believe is the best. And then we obviously listen to a lot of the pool pros that give us the feedback and say, hey, we would love this. We would love, that. So, it's been a year in the making, right? And I think a lot of the things is like John was saying, is we want it to do like these 50 different things. Like we want it to be this really cool thing. But we understand that it has to be baby steps, right? Like we have to create the foundation. We have to create this part of the tool because if we try to make it be 50 things, it'll take us 4 years to build this, monster thing before it kind of gets out there. So, the first version of the app, a lot of it was focused around, the educational side. And then when John and I were out at the Western show and I almost said Vegas, the Western show in Long Beach, after each of the training classes, people would come to me and John and say, when are you teaching this class again? Or can I get your PowerPoint deck? Or how can I get more information? And that was literally right after the class. And so as we're sitting down and strategizing and trying to figure it all out, that was a big red flag, right? John was like, oh my God, like we got to do something. And that's where the idea of the partnership with the Western was, right? Like that's where we saw the need. Let's kind of bring it there first to a lot of the pool pros. And that's kind of where that idea was born from. And what I guess what I'm trying to get at is I want everybody to understand that yes, this has been a year in the building in building this, but like we're always talking about on the podcast and stuff like that, for your business, you have to have a vision. For your business, you have to have a strategy. For your business, you have to have goals in order for you to be able to achieve those goals and the success that you want to do. And so this is the one project that we really kind of had to sit down and really kind of put our heads together and go, let's have the vision, let's have the strategy, let's have, right? Because doing podcasts and doing informational stuff is a little bit easier, right? Like we have a vision of what we want to do, but it comes a little bit easier. There wasn't as many steps. There isn't that big, huge goal all the way at the end. And so I think, like John is saying, it feels good to finally reach the finish line, right? Like you're finally there. The beauty of it is that's not where this thing is going to end. I mean, the next things that we have in store for this, and we'll share those in just a second. The next things that we have in store for this is part of that bigger vision and part of that overall strategy that we will get into. But I just kind of wanted to share with everybody the journey of where we started with this thing and where we are with it now. And it feeds into our core belief. And our core belief is our spiritual mission for Pool Nation is two things. One, we want to give you a safe platform. And that platform is it doesn't matter what you ask, it's a safe place. We're not going to bash on you. We're not going to make fun of you because we've all been in that spot where we have to ask those very basic questions that a lot of other people know that you might not. And that's why we always say, and John and I always say on the Instagram Live and Zach, if you have the question about pH and alkalinity and we get that question asked 50 times, we're going to answer it 50 times. Like we don't care because everybody's in a different spot in their journey. So just because you're not and you already passed that and you already have that knowledge, you have to remember about the people that are starting and you have to help them in order to help them, grow. So that's point number one. We want to give that safe environment. And then two, our spiritual mission is, we want the pool pros to be financially successful because if you guys and girls are financially successful, there's going to be mistakes that you're going to make in your business. But if you're financially successful, you're going to be able to survive those mistakes. You're still going to be in business, right? And being in business is all about learning about failures and the mistakes that you made, and then turn around and correct it, and you kind of fix those things. So, you know, in growing our app, the education part is such a big part of that's why we wanted to really bring that one platform. And it was always, and it's always been like, we want this to be not just a Pool Nation thing, but we want this to be the resource for the industry, right? Because at some point, John jokes around about being old, but at some point in time, we will all get old and we'll fade off. But what we want to do is be able to leave that platform there for everybody to be able to kind of grow and continue to help, the industry. So, it's been an interesting journey over the last year, but it feels great to be able to be here and to be able to kind of be able to launch this with all the different partnerships, the Western, the instructors, all those things. So anyways, I think we need to talk a little bit about the app, Zach John. I think we need to kind of go through very quickly the different sections of what we have on the app. And then maybe what we could do is we could talk about what's next for the app. So I'll start, and maybe I'll just talk about, obviously, part number one. Uh, uh, let's see, just a thought. Why not have a 45-minute to an hour of video training on this podcast? That's our boy, Brian. Not a bad idea, Brian. So we talk about, obviously, the app. And for those of you that are watching, you could see that Training Tuesdays, he says, you can see here. So the first button is going to be the Western training courses. And those are the 10 training courses. And if you go into that section, you're going to be able to see the 10 courses. We actually added 2 extra, so there'll be a total of 12. But what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to kind of go through there and filter. Do you want to look at business? Do you want to look at water chemistry? Do you want to look at hydraulics, filters, whatever? And you can kind of filter through and kind of go to the videos that you want to get training. And then once you go through all the chapters, and what we did is, one of the conversations with us was, we didn't want the video to be an hour long because it's very hard to sit through an hour long. So we really kind of put a max that we put on a chapter was 30 minutes. Most chapters are 15 to 20 minutes, so that you can kind of listen to the chapters and then kind of come back. If you're doing something, you're busy, you can kind of come back. But after each chapter, you're going to be able to take a quick quiz, and then be able to, obviously take the quiz for each one of them. And then the other thing that you could do is, you can search the list of courses from that same page, but right there, you will have a list of all the courses that are there.
Q John.
Am I supposed to?
Everybody's queuing everybody. So why don't you talk about the instructor profiles, John?
Nah. The instructor profiles. Yeah. So
I made him fall asleep because I talk so much.
No, you were just real. I'm just sitting here, just like listening. I'm like, yeah. And to be honest, I was going back. I'm like, you keep saying throwing out a year, dude. I'm like, dude, it's been longer than a year. A year of working, like putting the app and having the team do stuff, right? But we were dreaming and brainstorming about this for like the last. And it's I was just like, no, dude, it's been a lot longer than that.
It's been a little bit longer than that, but really the 1 year mark where we decided, I guess you're right, we decided from the app version of it, because we didn't talk about that, right? First we did the web version part of it, but then we were kind of talking with John, always saying I'm scrubbing tubs, and John said, hey, what about the pool pros that are working? Like, can they put it on and listen while they're cleaning pools and scrubbing tubs? And that's when we kind of went, oh my God, like we didn't think about that, right? Like, oh my God. But
So
at
yeah,
that point, the app was been, the year, but we were working for about half a year before that on the
or
back
does
end.
it just feel like years? Maybe that's what it is too. Feeling old, right? And maybe the way I'm perceiving time and how fast it's running away from me. I don't know. It could be a deeper meaning. I'll have to. I might need to get a therapist. Uh,
John's realization today, he's getting old and he needs a therapist.
I might need to get a therapist. I think I'm internal struggles, man. Uh, but anyways, yes. So as far as like the instructor profiles, what's really cool is that we highlight every one of our instructors that we have the pleasure to have on our app, and it gives just a quick little bio of who they are, why they're there, and what they're doing. And why we chose them, basically, why they're on the app, and why you should listen to them. And each and every one of the people that are there are people that are trusted and respected in our industry, who know what they're talking about. And we want to be transparent with who they are, who they work for, and what they do for us. And I think it's an important piece to have, because when you see the problem, one of the things, the issue that we saw as an industry was when we needed to find something or find some information, we start YouTubing or Googling and seeing, and then we see video 50 different people on how. I remember my first acid wash video was dude, and and that was who know what I'm talking about, right? And it's just like seeing different things and different ways of doing things, and but not really understanding who that person is that's putting up that content, right? And is it a trusted source? And should I feel confident allowing myself, or because we know as business owners, time is money, right? And it's very important, and it's hard enough time as an entrepreneur to educate ourselves, and that's one of the reasons why we created this, so that we can make it as easy as possible. And then when you do have the time to actually sit and educate yourself, are you learning from the right person, right? Or are you getting information from a source that you should probably be a little bit wary of, right? And it's not necessarily based on facts, but maybe based off whatever opinion. So giving that profile out there and having people look at it and be able to go, hey, I feel confident that, look, this billion-dollar company feels great about having this person teach their da 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 da. They are an expert in this certain topic, um, and you should feel confident with the information that you receive from them. So that's the reason why we put that profile there, their instructor profile. So never mind mine. I don't know. Edgar wrapped something. I don't know what that. But as far as have building confidence in understanding or listening, because if you read my profile, people are like, dude, I want to, who's this dude, right? I don't even want to listen to this guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But when you do listen to or read some of the profiles of our that are on there, it just gives you a little sense of peace. You're getting correct information from the right people.
The next piece is the certificates. And I'm excited to see people start taking advantage of this, because when you go through a course, at the end, you'll have a quiz. And if you pass that quiz, you'll get a certificate. And you'll be able to access all that through the certificates button. You can download them, you can print them. As you build up certificates, you can filter through them based on, water chemistry certificates or whatever, so that you can locate that, and they'll all be hosted on there for you to keep track of, access, print, use, whatever you want to do with them.
Sorry, you caught me in the middle of mute and typing over here to David, which said, got the app. It looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that, David. Big time. So we haven't even talked about it, but everybody could download the Poolman University. It's called the Poolman University from Apple or Google Play. The next section that we wanted to talk about, one of them was really kind of one of our staples, and that is the submit questions, right? Like, we want to be able to give everybody a place somewhere where they could submit questions to us and, communicate with us. So there's a button that says submit questions on there. You can click on it and it automatically, sends those questions directly to us. And then we'll have them in a database to make sure that we kind of get through them. Because at the beginning, we were getting emails, right, guys? And then we were always like making sure that we kept track of them. So now they're kind of in this database where we know that we can kind of get back and answer those questions. And the other thing is the loyalty rewards, and those are in partnership with Heritage, and that's the program where you get credit back to your account on any of the purchases that you make at any of the Heritage family branches. So you can kind of go there and click on the loyalty rewards and send the information, and they'll call you to sign you up for the loyalty rewards program.
Next is quizzes and badges. We thought this was important because, it's human nature to be competitive, right? And it's human nature, when you put effort into something, to see some sort of end result or goal, right? It helps drive us to do better and be better at what we do, and it helps validate that we're retaining the information and that we actually know. It gives us a confidence so that we can actually go and put this new knowledge in practice out on the fields. We're not, when we're doing like certifications and when we're doing the certs, it's not like, oh, this is going to be the gold standard. No, this is just to say, hey, look, you took the time to take this course, and you absorbed information that you needed to, and that you understand it, and you're competent in this topic. So you have that that leaderboard, or you get this badge that say, hey, look, I did this, I did that. And it creates, I think, for like Zach's point when he was talking about FRISM, it creates an inner competition, and it gets people excited about wanting to be better at what they're doing and knowing more. So I think it's an important tool or piece of the app, creating that competition and having that there, because it always feels good to know, hey, look, I'm being recognized for the effort that I put into myself, and I'm the top, or I'm the best, or
I've already had people comment about how they know that they have to be at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's human nature, right? And then you know what it does too? It helps you understand the people that you have working for you too, and it helps you understand the type of person they are, as well. Because we, and as business owners, I think we all are competitive, regardless. We're entrepreneurs, are a different, are cut from a different cloth, and we're competitive pretty much in nature. I think a lot of people just inherently or just naturally, want to just be good at what they do. I mean, I don't know of somebody who just wants to be okay or doesn't want to be good at something, so having that there as a metric gives them an idea of where they're at. They should do better, or need to do more, or maybe they're lacking in certain, and where to focus on. So we're excited about adding the quizzes, the leaderboard, and having badges.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're definitely excited about that part of it as well. And Steve posted something here that was, I think, really important, and that is that, oh my God, wow, this kind of went crazy here. Somebody's talking about Crocs. What's going on? I kind of lost track. I was listening to John over here, and I lost track of this chat, John, and I'm like, I'm lost over here. Let's see here. And that is that the app is going to be a resource to supplement live training. And that's absolutely, one of the things that we want to tell everybody is that we believe in education, and there's a huge value into live trainings and going there in person. There's a couple different aspects to it, right? Your focus is a little bit different, but you're also able to network with other people. And then the other thing is that you're going to have other people ask questions that you might not be thinking about, right? That you're going to go, oh, that's a great question, or oh, what happens if that happens to me? Or even if it's something that you've never experienced, but you learned about it, and then when you go into the field and it happens, you're like, I already learned this in the class, right? So there's definitely a big, huge, value to that. And so the last part of it has been something that we've had from earlier days in the podcast, and that is the documents, and we have that on our website. But we wanted to add the section because we're always getting people calling us with regards to either terms of service or rate increases, or when we talk about bore rates, is there any documentation or any papers with regards to bore rates? When you guys talk about, insurance and the different things that I look at, is there a document that I can look at to, reference? And so we brought that onto the app so that we're able to add the documents there. And the SPPA has been awesome. She's, shared some legal forms that you should be having the customers fill out when you drain a pool, right? It kind of, protects you from the liability. And we just kind of want to have a resource center where we are able to give you access to just kind of click on that and be able to download that from there. So the other thing that I want to talk about is there is an app version of this, but if you guys are on your computer at home and you want to get those terms of service, or you want to do any of that, right now, if you go to Pool Nation or the Poolman University and you click on, if you have an account and click on login, you could do it from the web as well. You could do it from your mobile device as well. But let's say that you're in the office, you want to get a terms of service, a rate increase, whatever it is, you can log in, just go to Pool Nation, click on login. You'll be able to register from there as well. And then you can download the app and just kind of log in. But this is an app, but there is a web version that goes hand in hand with it as well. So anything that we've left out, guys, that you guys can think of? No?
No.
Okay. So I think one of the last things that I want to do, let's see, variable speed programming calculator PDF will be introduced during Hydraulics 201. Perfect, Steve, send it to me. We'll add that there. And then when we're teaching the class, we'll be able to click on that, and people will be able to see it, on their phones. Brian says, great show, boys. I'm out. We'll catch you later, Brian. We'll take it a little bit personal that you're not staying until the end of the podcast, but we'll deal with that later. Right, John?
Yeah. It's probably because he fixed my feed, and now he hears me all the time.
And
So he wants to.
yeah,
I don't
and he's
blame
like, I can only take so much.
him. I don't
I
blame
needed
him.
that. I needed that little break.
Look, going back on what you were saying, what we left out, and we touched a little bit on it. I want to touch on it again. Is I want to be very crystal clear to everybody that this is not the end all be all of what you see right now. This is just the beginning, and this is going to grow when it comes down to content, and as people come up with suggestions and things that they want, send it to us, and we're constantly going to be, this app is constantly going to be evolving and growing and turning into more and more. So don't download it now, especially a lot of people, we haven't even released it technically. So what you see right now is just a little snippet of what we're actually going to have on there. But and this will be something that you will want to be checking on a weekly, if not at least, right, but weekly basis. We're going to be adding content on it, and if not, you're going to be missing out on some good information and education.
Absolutely. And, we'll talk a little bit about what's next for the app, which, came from, us sitting down and constantly having the conversation of, what's next and how can we make it better? And that's a conversation that we have every single time is not, we come up with the idea, but the concept is how can we make it better? And then when we make it to the end of the road there, we always kind of go, okay, now how can we make that even better? And so that's a constant conversation that we're having of how we can make it better. And so one of the things that we're going to do next, and this was obviously when we were having the conversation with Zach with regards to wanting to not hire, but add the employees into the app. What we're going to do is we're going to, in the next release, be able to have pool companies be able to sign up as the admin, as the company, and then they can add their employees. And so again, our conversation was, oh my God, that's a great idea. Let's add that. We can put it on there. We can kind of put the training on there. And then the conversation was like, how do we make it better? And so we kind of started the conversation of, well, we have pool pros that are brand new, never been in the industry. So they would really want to see basic training employers don't want to give them on, throw them all of a sudden into, hydraulics and a lot of, complicated, hydraulics 201 that they could see. And then, they just kind of get confused. So, how do we do that? And so the idea was, okay, so we'll create some templates, right? We'll create a kind of like a basic, a Pool Tech 1, and they can take just the classes on basic water chemistry and filtration and some of those things. And it was like, well, how can we make it better? And the next evolution to that was, what if you have somebody that wants to completely customize a learning module for an employee? And then it was like, okay, well, let's allow them to add the templates and then add other trainings to it so that they can, filter those. And then we kind of kept going. Well, how do we make it better than that? Well, you know what? Let's make it fully customizable. So if a pool company wants to go out and look at the 50 courses that are on there and only pick 7 of them for that employee, they can kind of click through, and those are the only 7 that the employee are going to see. And so that was the evolution to that, and that's kind of where we're at with that. And then again, we go back to, and then that's our constant thing: how do we make it better? And then the idea was, well, what happens if you have a pool company that has a specific training that they only want to show to their employees, but they don't want the rest of the world to see it? That's very niche to them. Well, let's give them the opportunity to be able to upload their own course for their own private, right? And be able to add that to it and then add quizzes to it as well. And so that's the next phase and the next evolution of that. And that's kind of currently what we're working on, is being able to allow pool companies to be able to customize completely that education and for them to be able to add their own training courses. And now it becomes, that tool of training for all of their employees. So Jeanette is saying John is really quiet in his face. So are you okay over there, John? See what happens, John? See what happens when you're not when you're not talking? People are like, is he okay?
Yeah.
So I think she's throwing you a lifeline. You okay?
I'm okay.
We're worried
Jeanette,
because you know that you need.
I'm zoning out. My mind's going like a million miles a minute. I'm kind of like daydreaming, but I do physically. I look tired and beat up for sure.
Maybe that's a way of Jeanette's way of telling me, Edgar, shut up. We want John talking, not you. That might be it.
No,
that might be it.
No,
I think that's it,
trust
John.
me. There's no short of me talking. There's plenty of it. All right.
I think Jeanette is going.
We just lost
Edgar's,
Brian because I was talking so much.
Maybe what it was, John, is I was telling the backstory of the app, and Brian just kind of went, "It's not John, I'm out." And then Jeanette's kind of throwing me another curve over here, going, "He's kind of quiet."
I'm just waiting for my final thoughts because I have some jump in and say right now, because even though we've been doing that, we've been on this whatever for like almost 2 hours, right, on this video chat or the podcast, even because before we start the podcast, we're on for like 15-20 minutes. I just noticed something, and it's like killing me to say something, but I'm not going to say it, and I'm going to work.
Okay.
So
I have
what it is.
I do have David over here, which he's hilarious. He goes, "God, just take my money. Once employee training rolls out, it's burning a hole in my pocket." David, a lot of these ideas have also come from, pool pros that have sent us information. We were just having a conversation with somebody that has 9 employees. And so we're trying to get as much feedback as we can. So when we build it into his point was, what happens if I have trainings that I want to give my employees for the first 30 days? And I'm like, well, you could do that. You can kind of set that up, and we'll add some date ranges on there. So that's kind of another thing that we added. And then his next question was, well, what happens if I don't want them? What happens if they get through the first 30 days, right? Sometimes you have those employees that are go-getters, and in the first 2 weeks, they've watched all the content for the first 30 days. And he's like, do you let them go to the next 60 days? And I said, I don't know. Do you want to? And he's like, in my case, I wouldn't want to. I would want to go revisit that content with the employee and make sure that they're grasping it rather than just kind of going through the videos and doing that. And I'm like, oh, we could do that. We could put a time frame onto the next videos and when those become available. So, David, a lot of the feedback that we've been getting and the things that we add to this is really because of the feedback that we're getting from the pool pros, out there. So that's the next phase that we're working on for. Steve is going harder quizzes for overachievers. We could do that, right? We could put a level 2 quiz on there for those overachievers. Which, by the way, John's already talking smack that he's going to like be number 1 between us 3, and he's going to smoke us, and we're going to look like babies next to him.
John's pretty smart.
Come to think of it, you are talking a lot. Realization that you're just talking a lot right now.
That's why you're sleeping.
Yeah, and I'm just okay. I'm like, okay, I get it, Jeanette.
So look at that, John's only like he's not even finding it inspirational that I'm talking. He's just like struggling over there, and then he just calls me out like right in the live pod. It's not like this one's offline.
I'm like, wow.
He's like calling me out in front of everybody. Zach, going, Edgar, you're talking too much.
Wow, no, it's awesome. No, not in a bad way, in a good way. Right? It's like when you're getting passionate about, you're talking about, our little baby here, right? And it's like, look how pretty, you know what I mean? Even though it could be like, oh yeah, your baby's really pretty.
Yeah, Zach, can you see that? So we take a little talk time away from him, and so Jeanette, you can't hear who, me or John? So I think she might be saying that she can't hear you, John. Are you talking away, Jeanette?
Yeah, might.
So Jeanette, tell us, is it Edgar or John? So anyways, Zach, the bus ran over me, big time. So, and so that's the next part of the app as to where we're going. We have some other things that we're going to kind of build onto that. Those will kind of come down the road. But yes, the other thing is that the employers will be able to see the employee certificates and the ones that they pass and the ones that they didn't come through. John is coming in quieter for me as well. I think John's having some issues with needing therapy and being tired, and I mean, he threw me under the bus, told me I'm talking too much. Now he's being aggressive. John, I think you have some issues that we need to work through.
Look, all right. I think I need to get a therapist, man. I think I've reached that point in my life. So I'm sorry. Hopefully I'm a little louder now. I'm kind of like in chill mode.
Yeah.
Kevin can increase the audio when we release it, so it won't be an issue for people that on Monday.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where the app is at. That's where we're sounds like he's hungry is what David is saying. That could be it.
Well, I'm always hungry.
The solution.
Yeah.
That's why he's telling you you're talking too much.
He wants to go
eat.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking we have to do 3 commercial podcasts because we're on like 2 hours now.
Yeah. So I think what we should do is probably take is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? I mean, that's where the app will go into the next phase.
There's more you want to talk about, Edgar.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
Oh, come on.
So the next red points are yours. So
oh, really?
We do have to do one thing, John. So here's one thing that I want to do is while we take the break, I promised to Tristan that we were going to embarrass Zach, and I cannot let that go. So can you please, I'll have my phone with me, shoot me a WhatsApp on the break. Let's figure out how we're going to make it up to Tristan out there, because she's listening today. So anyways, let's take a quick, he's gone. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, Zach, John, I want to get your final thoughts.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pull Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself, your host, Edgar, Mr. JJ Flawless, and this famous Zach, the pool boy, Nicholas. If you are watching, so Janie was making fun of me because she was going, oh my God, because I'm sitting here dancing to the music and stuff like that. And she's like, oh my God, it feels like we're spying. And I'm like, well, let me show you what I'm looking at right here. So if you watch on video, that's Mama's new toy on there. And that thing is absolutely amazing. So hope you're enjoying it. You deserve it more than John. I know that. She
does, dude. I mean, look, it's when you really love somebody, what makes you happy is seeing them happy, right? And any father or mother out there appreciates that and knows that. And I get my absolute most joy that I get in life is watching my family and my wife and the people that I love having fun and enjoying themselves, right? Getting that that inside and just whatever. And this has definitely
buying them trucks.
Apparently,
Zach, would you like a new truck?
He doesn't love us like that.
He doesn't love us that much, right?
I got a 4-cylinder Tacoma. Come on now.
I drive a 2015 F-150, so he doesn't love me at all. John, it's all good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, absolutely. But no, it is. And she's like, just watching her get giddy over it is like, okay. we had this conversation, Edgar, and it's like, to me, it has to make sense, right? I mean, if I'm gonna amount of money on a vehicle, um, I don't drive around in a vehicle like that. I probably never would, but it it's worth every just to see
I
how
would.
happy it makes her. Yeah,
I would drive around in a vehicle like that.
In case I'll blue, dark blue, John.
Yeah.
Dark blue.
Always blue for me.
What color do you want, Zach?
Right.
Zach, subliminally.
You're gonna get a little
drop
Hot
it.
Wheels car in the mail.
Right, we go Power Wheel.
Zach, the dealer's down the street from my house where he bought it. It's just right there down to 380, like 2 miles away. So
All I gotta say, and I had this conversation with you, is like ever since we became, you have cost me a lot of money, my friend. Buying houses and supercars, and I mean, you all because of you in Texas. It's turned into quite the interesting debacle. But I'm kind of like,
I'm
dude,
gonna have
how
to
did
go
I
work
get
for John. I'm
dude,
gonna
how
have
did
to
I
go work
get
for John to
swindled,
pay
dude?
it back.
I go, dude, you were awesome. I mean, I'm the salesman, right? And I make some educated decisions in everything I do, and I put a lot of thought into it, stuff. But I'm like a wild man, dude. And it's like, I cannot believe I've spent so much money because of you, dude.
Because of me? Janie's
Because
the
of
one that
you.
wanted the truck.
No,
I have
it's your
nothing to do
fault,
with
bro.
that. Why is
It's
it
your
my fault?
Because they're not even available here. I can't even get them here. And if I
Are you
wasn't in
kidding
Texas,
me?
it wouldn't even been an option.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you
Edgar's like,
kidding
I know
me?
where to get one. Right
Oh
down the
my
street.
God!
Dude, you should have
Like
heard.
he
Oh,
wants to
people.
buy. He wants to buy his
No.
truck, a truck for his wife, but yet I'm responsible for it.
Look, we're out
Janie,
here
did,
shopping. I told her
Janie,
I'm going to buy you a
Janie,
truck.
did you want the truck or did you not? Janie, is it my fault? Please message me on here.
Look.
She goes 100% Edgar, and I thank you.
Yes. See, I'm telling you, out here, because something happened. We needed a truck, and I'm like, okay, I need to justify it in my mind. I'm like, all right, well, something happened with one of the trucks, and we're also going to be hiring another employee. And I'm thinking, okay, great. And she really wants this, whatever. It kind of makes sense now. Instead of going to buy another truck, I can just buy her truck, and then her can go down to me, and then my truck can go down to Fabian, and then Fabian's truck can go to the new employee, right? And then we're going to be doing that or whatever. And I call up the dealership, and I'm saying, hey, look, all right, I see it. This is the truck that she wants. Da, 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 da. How much are you asking? They give me their price over the phone, and I'm like, okay, that's what the price is. And I go, I'm about an hour away. I'm going to be driving. And they go, hold on, let me double check real quick with my sales manager, and because there's a market adjustment on this. And when they came back, and they go, yeah, there's a $50,000 market adjustment on this truck. I'm like, what? And I literally told, you know what I mean?
Pound sand.
And I hung up the phone, and I proceeded to call about 5 or 6 other dealerships, and all of them range from $30,000 to $50,000 markup on these trucks, and nothing was available to be able to get. And then I was lucky enough to have a one of my clients who owned a Dodge dealership up north say, yeah, we can. I don't have one. We can get one for you. 8 months for them to order it, to manufacture it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, by that time that need's already gone, and then now I'm just gonna. So Edgar calls me up and goes, hey, in Prosper they got telling Janie, oh yeah, they got 5 of them over here. It's the biggest one ever. They got all the trucks. I don't think
I want the record.
You were calling them.
That is not how it went down.
And I'm like,
that is
dude,
not
really,
how it
bro,
went
you
down.
put me in that position, and then yeah, you guys should come down. Oh yeah, fly down, whatever, and we'll go. And I'm calling, and I'm like, dude, really? And then I come down, and you don't even call me to meet up that day. All you're saying is, well, when are you going to the dealership? Which one have you picked out? I saw this one. I saw that one. And then, yep. So
you just ran me over with that truck is what you did.
Yep.
Because I want the record to reflect that you were coming out to look at you were looking at a Ram 500 Bullhorn, I don't know what edition, and all of a sudden he lands in Texas, never calls me. Normally he calls me, never calls me. And then at night, and by the way, I was in Studio A, and he never showed up in Studio A and showed up at my house at night with that truck. So it was a Rocky Ridge pickup truck that you were going to look at. And and here's the thing, Zach. When I gave him advice, I didn't tell him to go look at the big trucks. I said, "Oh, out here, there's a Dodge one. You better check it out and see if they have some there." And then all of a sudden, I get run over by this beautiful, amazing truck, and then reverse on me on that one. Nice
Yeah.
job, John.
Thanks, Edgar.
So, anyways, John, enough about us.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Zach, because we need to figure out how we make it up to Tristan here. So, you got any embarrassing stories about him?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I do.
I
have a lot of them.
Should we tell the story of what happened to him on the at the first show that we went to?
What happened to me?
Remember, John, where the one where he got locked out of his room in his underwear out in the hallway, and he was freaking calling us in a panic to let him back into his room because he had put the room service tray out in the hallway, and he was in his tidy whities.
He went there.
He did.
Wow.
Oh, we promised we were never going to say that, but you know what, Tristan, you deserve it. So that Zach goes out to leave his food tray out in the hotel, and he's in his tidy whities, and then goes to put the tray out, and then the door closes behind him, and he doesn't have a key to the room.
Bro, we know that's not true because I can't afford room service. So
yeah. So, anyways, Tristan, we may or may not have pictures of Zach in the hallway in his tidy whities, because you know what happened with Edgar and John coming around the corner, right? We were like this. We're like, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there to help you all. We'll bring a towel. And as we came around the corner, we were flying like this with the phones, like,
no, dude.
like
what really
taking
happened
pictures.
was security calls us up and says, "Is this guy with you?" And or else he's getting arrested. We're gonna have to escort him off the premises.
I'm like, I don't know what this guy's doing here, but look at this guy with this crazy beard in his underwear out here all by himself, and he's going, I know these. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. So no, John.
That's forever gonna. This will never die. This is gonna be an ongoing thing. Good job. See, Edgar did this. See what he does, dude?
The Night Stalker in underwear.
yeah.
Thank you for that one, Janie. That was Janie.
Wow.
Oh, the crazy thing is it's Vegas. So then what happens is, people don't find it that crazy. It's like just kind of common. So anyways, so there you go, Tristan. And Tristan, you know what? If you want another one,
Oh God.
reach out to me, and then we'll kind of share. We've got a couple with Zach. He's got a couple bloopers there. So anyways, let's see. Listen, who hasn't mistaken the hotel room door with the bathroom door because they had a little too much to drink earlier. So, Zach, it looks like you're not the only one. So, anyways, Zach, let me get your final thoughts.
Oh. Janie said, "Wait for real."
If you can,
just gonna leave it up
kind of
for-
compose yourself, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't happen. Whew. All right.
John, send me the pictures. I'll post them on
There
the stories.
Yeah. So in all seriousness, I'm excited to be here, and like John was saying, we're just scratching the surface, and we have a lot more work ahead of us and a lot more things coming. So it's going to be exciting to see what unravels over the course of the next few years. And it's been a fun journey. And like you said, when you made that phone call to me, I won't forget it. I was outside kind of cleaning stuff up because we were having a hurricane come in, and I was trying to get the backyard ready. And you're like, we're either all in or this isn't happening. And it's amazing. I couldn't have imagined being here where we are today and have the things going on that we have going on. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been really humbling to see the support, to hear the feedback, and just, see the need for this. And um, I'm just very thankful, and through this journey, it's been awesome to network and like meet different people and make great friends. I mean, that's the best part to me is just being able to go to the shows and hang out and go eat and walk around and just, with people from all over that we've gotten to meet and make those friendships and even into tattooing. And Edgar's going to get Pool Nation tattooed on himself at the next international show. So that's come from it. But other than that, I just really can't even believe that the Western is less than a week away. And it just doesn't even feel like it's here yet. I don't think it's settled or clicked in. And I probably won't pack until Wednesday morning at like 5 a.m. because that's how I roll. So, but it's here. So we'll
Hey,
see everyone in a week.
don't forget to do the early check-in.
Well, just save me a
I
seat.
booked mine, so
You're not going to
I
save
do
me a
I do
seat
aisle
if you get
seat.
on there before me?
I do aisle seat. I don't do middle seat, so I'll save you a middle seat if you want.
That's fine. Just save me a
Okay.
seat.
All right, Mr. Flawless. Final thoughts. Wait, before we do that, I want to give everybody a shout out over here. We just got a message on Restream that we had over. Well, we're at about 120 messages in the chat group today. So big shout out to everybody that's been out there, part of listening to this crazy podcast. And so Restream sent me a little thing and says, congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. So big shout out. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18. So 118 messages out there from everybody. Big shout out.
I don't know why don't I see the chat on Restream?
I will. Are
Because
you
you're
in
not on Restream.
Oh. There you go. Makes sense. Where is Restream? And why haven't you this whole time? I mean, I think you're purposely keeping me away from the chat.
Zach has it. I sent you both the login and the
I'm
stuff.
not in it,
Janie's
though.
going, wow, LOL.
Yeah. Now, see, I am getting old, right? Where do I do this?
That was a bad one, John.
Oh God. Okay. I'm looking at the chat here on Riverside, and it's like, dude, nobody's here, bro. What are you talking about? I'm like, hello. No, look.
He's all Edgar's having all these imaginary conversations with people
Talking
that
with
don't
bro.
exist.
Right. And I think I need a therapist.
Oh man.
Zach was on a less serious note. Edgar, the thing I noticed is on your what's up with the lightsaber that you have in the background?
Oh my God. Hold on.
Why do you have a lightsaber?
I gotta keep my composure.
Do you see the lightsaber, Zach?
I've been seeing it for like
Dude,
months.
what is that? What are you doing?
You like that?
Is that role play?
You like that?
I
need one
can't
for
believe
this. I need
nobody's
one
ever
for this
commented
side.
about it. But what is that right there?
Zoop. That's a wall lighting. Yeah, and Janie's saying that's been there, dude.
I know it has. When? Just for today.
Dude, that's been there for like the last 4 or 5 months.
For as long as your fire alarm's been going off, that has been in the corner.
Losing my shit, dude. Wow. I just noticed that's what I noticed. Oh, look,
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, God, dude, I'm in La La Land. I need to get a grip. Okay, well, I just noticed the lightsaber. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. And
That's all you
I
got.
think
Come
I
on,
should
give
keep
us.
my mouth shut because especially the last couple of things I've said, I put my foot in my mouth, and I don't see this getting any better. So I'm just gonna keep quiet now because I'm making a fool of myself.
David going, it's for intimidation. Janie is cracking up. Selective vision, and then Janie, she's going, I'm crying over here.
I'm all bad. It's all bad.
So,
Holy crap.
anyways, so that's it. That's your final thought. Now you got to give us something. You always kind of close the podcast with your good final thoughts. So, ready? Hey, John, final thoughts. Did you see that? I even did the ready, John.
I'm glad Zach
final
went.
thoughts.
Look, ditto, Zach. You did no. Seriously, again, this is a very exciting time for us to see our dream realized. And I don't. It's just hard to really put it into words. You know, we all successful people, you know, are constantly growing and learning and pushing themselves and setting themselves up, you know, putting goals out there and doing things. Otherwise, I think, you know, it's human nature to just become complacent if you don't like strive to do better and be better and to do that most people um, um, don't want to try to do. And I'm not saying that, you know, what we're doing is a big old amazing, but it's outside of our comfort zone. And it's not something that we're really, you know, it's not really our thing, right? And we like to stay close to doing what we're good at or what we do. And by no means did we ever think that this was at first that this was going to become a reality so soon, and it has. And I'm giddy about it, and I'm excited to see what and to see if it just benefits anybody and helps them through their journey. If it will, is very exciting. And to 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 emphasize Zach's point on, if at all else, even if this blows up and fails and this turns out to be a shit show, it doesn't work out, right? Our friendship has made it all worth it, right? And I can count on two hands how many people that I consider true friends in my life, and you two are one of them. And it's nice to it all made it completely worth it. And we got lucky, you know, finding each other, and you know, it's amazing. I've never worked with other people um, so well before in my life, because it's everybody. It seems like, you know, everybody is always in it for themselves, or what's in it for me, or how do I benefit? How do I benefit? How do I benefit? And no, you know, it's always like that transactional thing. But with Zach, you guys, you know, you share that same passion and that dream, and you guys are just awesome. And that's what I'm most thankful, regardless of how this turns out. You know, that we got to build, and let's see it explode, or let's see it prosper. I don't know. We'll find out. But can't wait to see you guys at the Western show. I hope Zach doesn't get a seat on Southwest. He gets stuck in the back by the restroom.
C60, baby.
Yeah. I'm actually flying Southwest for the first time in April, Edgar, so I'm a little worried about that. But
Just
I
make
did
sure you get the
bird
early
check-in.
check-in.
I did the early bird
Just
check-in.
buy it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Spent
you're one of the
extra
first
$50.
ones to board, and you pick your seats, and you're good.
Yeah. But that's,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to find to see everybody at the Western show. I hope everybody gets to go there, get to shake hands, give hugs, say hi, and you know, talk with everybody that's been supporting us over the years, and meet new people. That's what it's all about. And then hopefully learning a thing or two, because we're going to be there in the education courses and listening to classes and doing the same. So excited. It's only a few days away, and I'm chomping at the bit to be there. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Everybody listening, catch us. Actually, next Wednesday, we won't have an Instagram Live because we will be out at the Western Pool and Spa Show. We will release a podcast for the following Monday, so you'll be able to catch us there. For everybody that's listening or listens to the podcast that's coming out to the Western Pool and Spa Show, we will be at booth 444, which is where we were last year. Come by, say hi, hang out with us. Looking forward to catching everybody out there. And Zach, John, thanks so much for your time. We went really long today. We were supposed to go for about an hour. It's been at 2 hours and 15 minutes. So
Longest episode ever.
Yeah, we would have to stay on for about another 7 minutes to be able to beat that. So, but we're getting close.
of course you would know that.
Right off the top of my head, it was 2 hours, 20 minutes, 60. It was 33 seconds. So 60 seconds. So
Wow.
wow. So anyways, everybody have a great one out there, and we will catch you all next week at the Western Pool and Spa Show. Have a great one. Bye,
See you
guys.
guys.
Force be
Bye.
with you.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.